Hi. So we have what's it called? The presentation poster, which I'll show right here. Yeah. Let's minimize this. All right. Can everyone see clearly?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So our project, just in case anyone unfamiliar is watching, we made a website with underlying web service that helps users to analyze Twitter activity through different visualizations, particularly focusing on trends in the name, which we had to rely on Twitter's identification of terms and hashtags that were especially popular. But, excuse me, our, so our, the bulk of our project was in the backend server that's hosted on an AWS EC2 virtual machine that sort of gets data from our database and from the Twitter API, and also processes that before sending it back to the user. While we have a second server just for holding the website's browser files, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. So we were able to complete all of the major features: geographical visualizations of trends, visualizations of how trends' popularities varied over time, and visualizations of a Twitter users' network of friends and followers. Although we had to make a couple of adjustments based on discoveries in the during implementation. Like we found that that Trends API, which we ended up having to rely on, only served 63 cities in the US, whereas we thought there'd be like hundreds. We thought we'd have to filter down to only some of the cities that the Trends API supported, but not so much. And we were also able to add a few other nice features, like displaying a bunch of other major cities in a state when you zoom in on it in the geographical visualization, and getting a sense of how different socioeconomic variables like rate of the fraction of the population who graduated college, or the median household income or something, how those vary across the state. And that can potentially provide more context for the different trends in Twitter activity in different areas. So, and also we had a few more direct interfaces for the user to pull more complete lists of top trends from the Twitter Trends API, or for directly accessing the sort of history of trend popularity snapshots that our program builds over time in the background. Does anyone? Yeah. So I think that covers the project as a whole. Does anyone else on the team have anything they'd like to highlight? No? Okay. Cool. Let me stop sharing, and yeah. So I guess we can start demoing the use cases now.
Okay, I'll be sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll be demonstrating the geographic trends analysis, and the user story that I'll be going over is the user is a marketing manager, and they want to analyze, let's say in Philadelphia, what kind of trends are there, so they can establish their marketing campaigns. So first they would go to the geographic step, and they would click on, I guess it would just be analyze, and they can zoom in and out of each state. And let's say they want to analyze Philadelphia, they can click it and it will show the top 5 trends They can also check the top 5 trends in United States as a whole and the entire world. So let's say for Philadelphia, they want more information on, let's say, the Last Dance trends. They can click on it and it will show some recent tweaks about the trends and some news on it. We get the news from a news API. So yeah, they can switch between different trends. What other feature there? Yeah, that's all for the geographic.
What's the conclusion as a marketing guy after he look at your web
so
page?
let's say he sees these trends and he get information on it. He can decide on what kind of marketing he wants to focus on.
If you were the marketing guy, what kind of conclusion did you get from your app?
I would, since there's some NBA playoff news, I would go make marketing towards some sports stuff.
That's okay. They still have something sports events here.
Mm-hmm.
You said this is the latest, real information from Twitter.
The trends are.
Yeah, those are the top 5 trends that are currently trending in that location. A lot of them have overlap, especially if they're from like the same general area. No changes. But if you go from like northeast to south or west, the trend, or like Texas, the trends start to you can see the changes in the trends a lot of times.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at the both coasts, East Coast and West Coast, to see any, the different COVID. Biden, okay. Nobody interested in Biden in Philadelphia?
They might be, but since our application only shows like top 5, it might be like the 10th or something.
Yeah, at least this page.
Yeah, at least this page only shows like general top 5.
Go to South Florida.
This one.
Y'all.
People. What do people mean?
I don't know. We're not getting any tweets on that.
Like it's a bug.
Yeah, something very weird. Beautiful people. What a topic? Can you click these to see what the really people talking about?
Yeah, this is
people.
For people.
It's weird. Why is it people?
Yeah, it's talking about
categorize as a people. How to tolerate the people? Because the people there.
Yeah, that's just these are picked by Twitter using some logic. We don't really know what their recipe is, and yeah, because of the limitations of the free versions of the free parts of Twitter's API, we had to sort of rely on whatever calculations they did internally to identify significant terms and hashtags. Honestly, I'm not certain why that process spit out y'all, but I guess.
Mike, you want to share your screen, or you want to just talk to my screen for the?
I can share my screen. It's fine.
Okay. How do I do this? Oh God. Oh.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so my feature that I'm going to present is the socioeconomic data that we have in our analyze location page. So my user story is basically Wayne is a consultant for political campaigners, and he's researching how culture and economic trends are interacting in Texas. So if we click on Texas here, we see a bunch of these dots or nodes. They're all mainly black now because we set them to none. That's like the default. But if we change them to, there's like a bunch of options, and we've changed them, for example, to the college education or above. the color changes. So the color means that the darker the color is, the least they have on the data. So for example, here near Houston, we see a bunch of darker colors, which mean there's less people that have like college education or above. But if you see Dallas over here, there's like a bunch of oranges and there's a yellow there, which means there's a lot of people that has like college education or above. And we can change them to any other of the option here. And the data that we have here is stored in our database that we get from another repo, which is basically that we get from the economic data about the United States. And that's the feature that I'm presenting. So I think I'm done. And I think Claire is going to present next about our network pages.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
How do you stop sharing?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Okay, cool. So in some other cases, the owner of a Twitter account say they want to analyze the network of followers. And for example, like the brand manager of a company wants to know who interact with the company's account the most on Twitter platform, and so that they can reach out to those people, like for public relations purpose or for research, or to ask them to endorse a product. And let's say the brand manager of Starbucks wants to know who interact the most with Starbucks account. So he typed in the username. And so the feature we provide is the network analysis. And we gotta show them who retweet the post of Starbucks the most. And so he entered the username and then set the size of the graph to say 10. It takes a while. Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, speed was a limitation for this project.
Just want to make sure the account is right. Okay. Okay, let's.
Is it possibly the B?
Yeah.
The capital B?
Yeah.
Maybe just try 6?
No, just let it run.
So what does the number of network mean? The 10, 6?
It's the number of the top people who retweet the most. Yeah.
The top of the people in the network.
Yeah, like the 10 most, like the 10 users who retweeted Starbucks posts the most.
Okay.
Okay, let's just try another account.
Maybe not all 10?
Let's try to a lower number.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
We
Weird.
see here a graph. So Eagles is the count of Philadelphia Eagles. And so the middle node in the middle is the username of the account, and then the adjacent nodes are the people who interact the most with this account, and the length of the vertex corresponds to how many times they retweet the post of this account. And in some other cases, like it doesn't have to be a company or a product. It can be like an individual who has like a substantial following and who wants to know like who are their biggest fans on Twitter. Let's say it can be a celebrity or like a politician. For example, like Joe Biden, he wants to know who are his biggest supporters on Twitter so that he can reach out to them and for public relations or research or something. And let's say he enter his username and set the size to 13. And here we are, we have like a graph with like the lines are a bit thicker in this case because like maybe those people like have just a higher volume of interaction with him. And so, yeah. And so this can be helpful for like brand managers or marketing managers who want to kind of keep like a tab on their followers and so that they can devise some other, business plans. And that's the feature that we provide here. So we have another feature related to the network that I think Connor is going to present.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to be demonstrating the word cloud. This really could be used for like two purposes, but what I'm going to show you is in the case that there's a campaign manager. She runs a campaign for a political candidate. So she could navigate to the website, click on the word cloud, and then type in her candidate's name. So select followers, that's the default. The followers is going to be everyone who follows the real Donald Trump. So this is going to be able to give kind of a sense of what Donald Trump's followers are currently talking about and discussing. It's going to go through their tweets and find the trending topics. And we'll select the number in the network. We'll just put this at 6. So what you're looking at essentially is it goes through all of it goes through Donald Trump's followers' tweets and finds these keywords. So this could really be used in a sense to really get a feel of what Donald Trump's base is talking about or the trending topics that they're discussing currently on Twitter. So, I mean, and also the size dictates on how many times it's appearing in those tweets. So the size matters. So the smaller ones can be less focused on. And then
Connor, this is based on 6 followers, if I understand correctly. You said number of network 6. So that means that's the collect information from 6 followers. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, essentially we just have limited computing with the API. So we really can't go through every single person. I mean, theoretically it's possible. We're just limited with our API.
But if you change that number of networks, so this result is going to change.
In the details, yeah. We're unfortunately dealing with very small n sampling, but we are able to do larger like numbers of people up towards like 15 or 18 it's just it takes even longer. And also the at a certain point, like if we do enough of those in a short period of time, the
We hit our
we'll hit, yeah, the free access to Twitter's API has rate limits for requests, and if we hit those, despite like even after using up the safeguards we set up to make that less of an issue, then the app stops working for a couple minutes until the rate limits expire or refresh.
And likewise, they could even go to their opponents and see what their base is currently discussing or following, and kind of maybe transpose it and see like the differences between the two. So this one's Joe Biden's. I don't know why Nike's on there.
Nike.
COVID, black, white, color, release date.
Nike, Jordan.
I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with Nike and China and Joe Biden.
Release date. Why? Not Joe Biden release software?
For where?
Release date. Release date.
Oh, release.
Yeah, and the color. Yeah, release date. Why people are talking about release date?
Huh.
Okay.
It's Twitter. I don't know. It's lawless.
Yeah.
Those words are not necessarily about Joe Biden. It's just that what his followers are interested in at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are Joe Biden Nike socks. So maybe that's it.
Oh, the Joe Biden Nike socks.
Yeah, they're kind of new, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Have his face on it.
Yeah, it's just a big old face of Joe Biden.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Then we can try an individual Twitter account.
Does anyone have a Twitter account that they want to?
Anyone have a Twitter account?
You can use mine, Connor. It's C_NLSN. It's going to be a lot of stuff about the Ravens and I don't know what else. Benjamin Babbitt. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, followers? Wow.
Yeah, I have 4 Twitter followers. Or I follow 5 people or something like that.
Yeah.
We can do mine too. Mine's just.
Do you have more friends than followers right now?
Yeah, I'm not very. I just follow people.
You might get better results if you try clicking friends.
What was it?
Oh, yeah, that's probably the rate limit issue.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially it for the word cloud. But we can pass it off to who's next, Jen?
Chris.
Oh, Chris.
All right. Okay, can you all see the screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So for my use case or user story, I work for the social media team of a large company, say Lysol. So I'm gonna hop on Twitter trends, go to the trends, tweets, visualization page, and search for my company in there. So we'll check out what's going on, what people are saying about Lysol with the recent Trump speech telling people to inject my product into them. Oh, yep, here we are. This isn't looking good, people. So based on these tweets, it's probably a good idea for me being on the social media team to like put out a little public service announcement to let people know, like, do not drink our product, do not inject it. and like follow the labels or something like that. And we could also check some of our larger markets, say New York, and see if we're one of the top trends. Looks like we're not. How about Philly? All right, so that's a good sign. But then we can also scroll down here and just check all places. So the press conference was the 24th. So we'll check from then until now to see if people are talking about Lysol at all. And yep, look, we are one of the top 50 trends with close to 700,000 people talking about Lysol in the past 3 days. And we could also check for our competitors, see what they're saying about them. So what do we got? Clorox. So it looks like people are saying similar things about our competitors too. So that's a good sign. Yeah.
Give him a 0.
What was that?
Somebody say something?
We good?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, how do I unshare this? There.
Okay, so for the last use case, we're going to share the screen. Okay, so for our last use case, we chose another member of a marketing team of a large company who wants to know how trends have changed over the past week or whatever span of time. And this is important for like social media buzz. You don't want to have trends that have already passed their prime. So in the same explore page, down at the bottom, you can choose a date. And so I choose today, and we're going to be looking over the past week. And when we search, we have all of these different trends. And so we want to look at the top trends that people are talking about right now and throughout the past week. So as you can see, coronavirus and Trump is always a really big thing. So then what we want to do is we want to analyze it using our time graph. So over here, this is just our default. We have Trump and COVID-19 currently showing over the past 11 hours. But what we want to see is how Trump has been going over the past 7 days. So 7 days, and we update the graph. And so this is what's been going on with Trump. And if you put your mouse over a dot, a little tooltip comes up showing you the exact value of the interactions over the past week. And so at the bottom, you have time, which is hours prior to present. So of course, the CR right here would be now, and then you're going back into the future. And
it's
then
interesting. Why is it a big jump? In the -80?
Telling people to drink bleach.
Yeah, so that was right around I looked into that, and that was right around the time when he told everybody to, inject disinfectants.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to add another trend to look at how it relates, Earth Day was, 5 days ago? So if we want to look at that, we can see there's this big jump right here, which is 5 days ago on Earth Day. And we can continue adding different trends. And so we can see how Biden's doing. What else? And we can do up to 5 trends. So I know people was one, and let's do COVID-19. And so what you can see is that people surged up to the top in the past week. Here's Trump again, COVID-19, Biden, and Earth Day. And then if you want, you can always remove trends and go back to just Trump. So that is all for me. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, cool. Any questions?